Hello, everybody. And Meraman Foundation is here with a very well-known personality of. She's an actress. She's a politician, and more than anything, she's my very good friend. So Vani Tripathi, of course, known for her debut in Dushman, and then she went on in Chalte Chalte. Then there was Fir Bhi Dil Hai Hindustani. There were brief roles, and in I think serials में फिल्मी चक्कर और I would rather say कि ये सब चल रहा है और एक यंग लड़की जब अपना जिंदगी एक तरह से बना रही है अपनी फिल्मों में और सीरियल्स में, अचानक वो मूवीज और सीरियल छोड़ के पॉलिटिक्स में चली जाती है इन आई थिंक 2008 और समथिंग लाइक दैट and joined BJP. So welcome, Vani. Welcome to Meraman Foundation's this discussion. And I have Asha with me. Asha is of course is known for her therapeutic background and so Meraman Foundation की co-founder है. तो हम यहाँ से बातचीत चालू करते हैं. तो वाणी वेलकम आपको.
Thank you so much, Geeta. Thank you, Asha, and a big congratulations to Meraman Foundation for the amazing work you're doing with mental health and women. And I must also say, Geeta has known me from the time when I was just a newbie, a little girl, who had just gotten out of the theatre world of Delhi and had landed with her first role in Dushman. So we go back decades, and I'm really happy that we are meeting virtually in times like these, whereas physical distancing has become a very new normal. But wonderful for this warm welcome that you've done, and I'm very glad I'm here talking to you both today.
Yeah, I remember physical distancing से याद आता है कि वाणी इज वेरी हगी कडली बच्चा था. जब मिलेंगे तब हग करना है, and she was like literally बच्चा था जब when I met her, and she rightly said, I remember she was something 21 or something like that when we met first time. And मेरे से ज्यादा ये मेरी डॉटर की शिवानी की दोस्त थी उस समय, and they bonded so well. और वो एक वक्त था जब वाणी की सीरियल्स आ रहे हैं, वाणी के मूवीज में ऑफर्स आ रहे थे, और सडनली एक मॉर्निंग को मुझे उसका कॉल आया, गीता आई एम जॉइनिंग पॉलिटिक्स. एंड आई एम लाइक व्हाट, क्या हो गया तुमको? मतलब घर पे एक पॉलिटिशियन था, एक बेस्ट फ्रेंड में जा रही है, क्या हो गया? was kind of my reaction. तो क्या हुआ था उस समय, कैसे शिफ्ट हो गए आप?
Geeta, you'll remember that I started doing theatre when I was just 13 years old. And since both my parents were academics and, theatre and storytelling, या जिसे हम हिंदी में कथावाचन बोलते हैं, was very much a part of my growing up years. And I think by the time I was 21, I had done a lot of theatre. I had done more than 100 plays. And at 19, I became a visiting faculty. I became an actor teacher at the National School of Drama. My one big dream was, of course, to work with the legendary theatre guru, thespian Shri Ibrahim Al-Qazi. And at 19, I got that fantastic opportunity. He came back after more than 27 years of hiatus in London, post his directorship at NSD of 18 years. And I think by the time you and I met, and I had done Dushman, and I was doing roles I was also doing theatre in Bombay or Mumbai today. Those days it was still called Bombay. And I was doing a lot of work at the Prithvi Theatre. I was doing plays with Ipta, if you remember. You would come and see a lot of my performances, even in the, the theatrical plays I did. Somewhere, one of the things which National School of Drama and Theatre and Education Company gave me was that theatre is a very important tool, or can be a very important tool in empowerment and education of young people and women. And over the years with that work, I thought that we will always be peripheral. You see, we as women are seen as community building, people who know that, which child should be going to school in our community. And I'm talking about both rural and urban India, within the consciousness of various cooperative societies where people live in the city of Mumbai. most women who are working or who are not even working know who needs to go to a doctor within their neighborhood and so on. But very seldom we connect the governance structures of the country to women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are still crying out aloud for policy making initiatives. We are still at a very dismal 12% in the parliament in the country. But I think one of the resolves that I had was that why should it just be the men who are all the time taking decisions in policy and governance? And I've just seen Atalji and his brilliant government, and the governance model in which they were working. And somewhere I used to speak about this very often with both Arun Jaitley ji, who I knew from before coming into the party, also Sushma ji, who almost considered me her daughter. And we used to say young professionals will enter politics, and especially if they are women, even if they are mid-career successes. I don't know whether I was a mid-career success at that time. My audience would probably say that about me when you look back in hindsight. But having said that, one of the resolves was that if I will not become a part of the policy-making structures of the country, then I will stand on the periphery and criticize the system all my life. And similarly about telling stories, today I'm also a producer and I do work to create content because again, we are so critical of bad filmmaking around us. But what is it that we do to change the narrative? So it was just one attempt to change the narrative. Yes, I was much younger than most people who become, a political animals, as it's called. But I think the time was apt. I had a lot of energy. And through the length and breadth of this country for many, many years, now almost 16 years down the line, I could actually meet those wonderful, fantastic women who are women sarpanchs of their village, who are corporators, MLAs, and some of them are also sitting in the parliament. So I think it's been a defining moment for me in the very young years of my life, where I was also creating a parallel between creating stories and also creating governance stories for women.
Wow. So yeah, it is really important that what you're talking about. And Asha has an interesting question about the regulations on the movies, and she will ask you about it.
Right. Thank you, Geeta. And Vaniji, listening to you actually makes me feel very proud all over again, even to be a woman, that we can go out there and do so much. It sets the mind thinking about this. You've also been on the regulatory board for films and I think media, right? For understanding the Central Board of Film Certification. Right. So you still are a member of that. And I have a very pertinent question, because from Mera Man Foundation, we are looking at how we can help youngsters, the youth of today, women of today, when they are caught between career and professions between career and their family. So women are constantly in that space कि क्या करना चाहिए, ये करें या वो करें. So multiple things. उसके साथ साथ जब हम mental health की बात करते हैं, the visuals, what we see around us, our mind, वो जो visual है वो straight away mind में जाता है, whether I watch a horror film or I watch a happy film. तो मुझे ये समझना है कि जब आप unrestricted एक label apply कर सकते हैं या फिर unrestricted but with the guidance of parents. So why is it that we have these labels? What does it do to the mental health of the viewer? How is it associated with the information that goes to the viewer?
Very important question, very pertinent. I'm the junior most veteran of Central Board of Film Certification. Unpopularly was called the Censor Board. But yes, it's a regulatory body, and I want to say this on record through your medium to tell people that censoring is a terribly old term. 1935, the British used to use this term to censor information from their colony, which was India. And I think in the democratic independent setup, we shouldn't be censoring films, we should be certifying films. Coming to the mental health issue, I think it's a very, very, very important question. और सीधी सी बात है कि COVID times में families were sitting together and were watching content, not just films. They were watching all kinds of things. CBSE is only till now concerned with the certification of films for theatrical release. यानी जो आप थिएटर में जाके सिनेमा देखते हैं, ट्रेलर्स देखते हैं, प्रोमोज देखते हैं, उन्हें हम सर्टिफाई करते हैं. And the meaning of that is that there's age-related classification. What is deemed correct for adult viewing, which probably today is the most widely debated topic, whether it is explicit content, whether it is cuss words and bad language, whether it is, there is a certain liberation filmmakers feel that they have the liberty for nudity and for, explicit, scenes.
Even violence.
But within the COVID realities, when films could not release for 2 years, there is a new normal which also emerged, which is the OTT platform. We will come to it a little while later. But you are very right. When you are watching something which is in your palm, it is a private viewing. The moment you are sitting in a dark space in a theater where 200, 500 or 1,000 people are sitting together and watching something on a very big screen, the impact is collective. It is called collective viewing. And all over the world, हम चिल्लाते रहते हैं, freedom of speech, censor नहीं होना चाहिए, filmmakers should have creative freedom. I belong to the industry. Nobody knows this better than me. Yes, there should be creative freedom for creating stories which make, sense of how our society is, how our families are, how we look at life. But that does not mean that a 13-year-old should be watching gory, explicit violence, listening to language which is not just bizarre, which is not just ugly, which is also unleashing the young mind into something which only an adult mind should be consuming. So consumption of content is a very important subject related to mental health. One of the most dense realities is what really bothers me being on CBFT, almost 7 years now, violence in children is a very, very disturbing subject for me personally. Also, objectification of women. And one thing I can proudly announce in public domain today with great responsibility through you, and that is that within the present board under the chairmanship of Prasoon Joshi ji, where Vidya Balan, who's one of the finest actors of our time, Gautami, the former director of National School of Drama, Vaman Kendre, Meher Bhutta, who's a writer, Vivek Agnihotri, who's a filmmaker. So the present board has taken one decision. If you will objectify women, we will not certify your film. End of story. So many more Sheila ki Javanis and Munni Badnaam Huis is not going to happen anymore. It's a shame that in a country which is largest film producing nation of the world, we are still looking at item numbers and women objectification, and we have no shame. There is no resolve. And the same women which get molested, get eve-teased, get raped every single minute in this country, till it doesn't happen to you, you don't realize how dense this reality is. So more than mental health, of course, mental health is a very big issue. Crime against women and objectification of women is absolutely, totally entwined together. And within the present board, you will objectify women. If I am a certification officer on the screening committee that day, I will not certify your film. And that's a resolve that we have taken.
Vani ji, so you said something very important, that through this pandemic, 2 साल सभी लोग घर पे थे, करीबन जो भी अभी भी है, like Netflix, everything is available, जितना भी OTT है, it's literally on this phone, right? We have it. So इसमें जो abuse या cruelty या horror या any kind of antisocial behavior, violence, everything gets glorified, It creates a kind of fear also in people. So I am a therapist. I get cases where people come in that they have watched perhaps an entire family that has been killed or murdered or has committed suicide, the movies or the kind of scripts that are coming up now. And it's one thing to create an awareness कि भाई ऐसा हो रहा है. जहां तक मेरी as a therapist एक understanding है कि okay, there are crimes that are happening, But to bring that crime out and to glorify it or to bring it out in such a gory manner, it impacts the mental health of people, where youngsters, the youth of today, either they are unable to sleep because what they see, or they're constantly in the trauma of ye mere saath hoga to kya hoga, or they go to the extreme opposite ke jo hoga dekha jayega, I can approach, I am strong enough, I can do, I'm talking of both men and women, boys and girls both, not just one segment. Of course, when I'm just so I'm so intrigued when you speak of what happens with women and the objectification of women. We would like to bring you again for one other thing, and specifically focused where we talk about women, their career, their families, their being who they are, right? But today also I want to understand ki when it comes to CBFC, will there be like, how are we going to help the youth who tomorrow will be going ahead and ruling our nation, but right now they are in the space of trauma, either one or the other thing. Very few light-hearted things are coming up, either they are too bizarre, matlab bahut hi weird se hain, they don't like to watch that. Also they want content which kind of thrills them, but how much of that thrill is being displayed in their behavior, the externalization of it. Once you absorb it, it's a visual, wo aapke andar to chala gaya, then people are no longer bothered. I see youngsters who are no longer bothered by the cruelty. They are no longer, their sensitivities have changed. What is your observation?
Very interesting question and a very long debate. Number one, the first thing we have to understand is a golden word called parental guidance.
Correct.
You see, you cannot always put the responsibility on a creator.
True.
A creator will create within the bizarre annals of his or her own creative mind. But if you will stop watching garbage, they will stop producing garbage. And long ago, this was said, the responsibility is a shared space.
Yes.
You want your child to keep quiet, you will just hand over the phone to the kid and say, "Acha koi baat nahi, now you go on seeing YouTube." You're not even understanding and not even being responsible enough to see what the child is consuming on your phone, which probably, has data and has, all kinds of things on it. So number one, parental guidance. Number two, within CBFC, let me tell you, there is a parental guidance code. UA is a 13 plus category.
Correct.
Which means children have to be monitored along with the parents. They have to go and they can watch films. I see all the time in UA films, little kids are running around in the cinema halls. Why? Because the parents don't even understand the meaning of that certification which has been given. Let me tell you, Asha and also Geeta, we can't be monitors, class monitors in a system. We can't be danda masters. There is enough advocacy available. When there's a disclaimer which is coming, you are busy chomping your popcorn in a movie theater at that time, and you're not looking at what kind of, today people have started to give disclaimers for what they are projecting. At least that is a new normal. So within the annals of certification in CBFC, I can say this with responsibility, we are very aware of the impact zone of content which has explicit violence, which has explicit sexual content. I'm not saying you can't make that content.
Yes.
All I'm saying is certifying it means that what is correct for a certain level and age group of an audience. Now, a lot of people argue with me, at 18 when people can vote a government, why can't they watch what they want to watch? Nobody's stopping them from watching what they want to watch. But who they are watching it with is a shared collaborative space, and parents and adults have to walk into that space as far as the young mind is concerned. You can't let loose the kind of an initiative where, Acha, Abhi, no, you need the child to shut up. So you put on something which is, violent or shocking or disturbing. So create a consciousness through your platform. I'm reaching out to an audience for the first time, which will be probably seeing me for the first time. I speak at literature festivals all the time. I speak in seminars. I go to various conferences. But this is the first time somebody is even talking about mental health, young people and children, and the content which is being created. So all I'm saying is don't dump your responsibility on people who are creating, writing, and producing content. It is a shared space. We as parents, as adults, as people who will cry about our rights, cannot forget our fundamental duty as a society all across the world, including the most liberal content creating nations of the world like France and United States and most of Europe. They all have certification boards. In fact, the United States, and I'm saying this, which will be very surprising for most people who are watching this right now, it is the parents of 8 to 18-year-olds, very much like the grand civilian juries, which sit in courtrooms which certify films. Which means those parents all across board, whether they are architects, doctors, engineers, homemakers, political people, whoever they are, they take responsibility for certifying what is going out in the theaters. Similarly, we are the largest film producing nation of the world. It's time to step up and take responsibility and use the golden word parental guidance.
Actually, Vaniji, thank you so much. This term parental responsibility or parental guidance is so important because as an upcoming nation, we are also, very fast in trying to pick up things from probably the Western world. So we pick up what we feel. My observation is we pick up what we feel is convenient, for us, which helps us. But there is something called as the psychological development of a child. So when you say that from 8 to 18 age group, the parents are sitting in, I find that most brilliant because that is the time children are learning to identify who they are. They are trying to identify with the peer group, with the pressures. So if in that age group, they are the growth of the child, like you said, if you put a 13 plus with PG or UA, most parents assume 13 plus hai, so they don't know, child will see it, but you're supposed to sit in with the child. What the child is understanding, what the child is taking in, what the child is absorbing from that is so important. So this was really very interesting not interesting, I would say needed for the viewers to see that just by blaming कि regulatory body ये नहीं कर रही है, वो नहीं कर रही है, आप अपनी responsibility तो ले ही नहीं रहे हो. And the whole onus of mental health care also comes with when it is my responsibility कि how is my mental health. अगर मुझे पता है I cannot handle horror films will be made, but who tells me कि तुम्हें जाके देखना ही है और फिर उससे डरना ही है और फिर घर पे आके परेशान होना है, so people take it for the thrill or they don't understand their own psychological growth. I think they'll understand it when parental guidance is put in place and probably they are a more educated group. We come forward as an educated group. So हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी था जानना कि how what you portrayed was superb. कि the board will do its job, the filmmakers do their job, but we are not doing our job. And therefore, we are getting also affected.
There's a golden word, Asha, Geeta, there's a golden word in content creation which is called niyat, intention.
Correct.
And everything is according to that gaze. If the camera is going between the thigh of a heroine, obviously they are not going to talk about gynecological issues. They are going to try and titillate you.
Correct.
So it is that intention, that niyat, which is so important. I meet young filmmakers all across the world and I speak to them also about certification. And I always say to them, your gaze as a creator of that content, that film, that web series, that book, even comic book, graphic novels, your intent is going to be consumed by an audience exactly according to what you wish to portray.
Yeah,
I mean, there have been fantastic films, and I'm going to name some films here. I think the last decade or so in portrayal of women has been path-breaking in India. Whether it's a NH10, whether it's a Dirty Picture, whether it's a Padman. When was the last time the propaganda used to be, if the protagonist of a film is a woman, and that too she is a lead character, if she is the hero of the film will not get produced, it will not get financed, and if she is not an hourglass figure of a woman drenched in rain, being a babe in the woods, being the arm candy to gun-toting hero who's going to finish off 35 goons in one go, the film will not work. All that collapsed within the last 1 decade of filmmaking in India.
Right.
All across board, not just Hindi. And I think this is the most celebratory time for creating cinema and content which is real, which is about our lives, which makes us think. And within those binaries, if we will just concentrate on sex, on violence, we lose this time. We will never get this time where families are sitting together, they are watching such great time to tell stories where children should know about how our history, our society, the story of this nation has been. It's 75th year of independence. And if we will lose this time, I'm sure history will not judge us very kindly. And
Yeah, but when you are talking about family sitting together and watching, nowadays OTT is a huge platform, more than a theater. Now, since for last 1.5 years or more than that, the theaters are not open. We are just watching Netflix देख रहे हैं कहीं Amazon पे देख रहे हैं, movies आ रही, ये देख रहे हैं. Everybody has their own. एक account में 5 लोगों के नाम होते हैं, वो अपने अपने choices से देखते रहते हैं. So how do you feel that regulation on the OTT platform, the what content they should be giving, how that can be done?
well, it's a very interesting question. I mean, though at CBFC we are only contained by the theatrical release certification of
Mhm.
a lot of people in the country, hit us back and said, how could you release this? How could you release that? We have nothing to do with the OTT platforms. But having said that, finally, there is a regulation 3-tier system which has emerged. The first level of regulation, which is within the very companies that you named, they have to put a classification team together. And thank God the onus of responsibility also lies finally with the streaming services, which are obviously for them, it's big commerce to titillate people and to show thrillers and gory violence. But again, Geeta, the onus of responsibility comes into the family and the viewer. If it says 18 plus, sex, violence, nudity, substance abuse, it's written on the left. It is a responsibility of you, me, Asha, and the whole world who's watching it with their children. If it says 18 plus, then keep to the 18 plus. Just because you're not in a theater, nobody's stopping you. There is no guard which is telling you, आपके ticket पे A लिखा है, आप तो अभी 16 है, आप अंदर नहीं जा सकते. So this policing has to stop. We have to find regulation within ourselves. We will have to answer these questions on where this content is flowing within families. At the end of the day, a 30 or a 40-inch TV where everybody's sitting together, you should be choosing as a family what you should watch with your family. You should be choosing with your family as to what should be correct if you have 12, 13, 15, 16-year-olds, and then probably late night when everybody else is asleep and you as a family of adults is watching something together. But this exception can only be made by families themselves. Because again, the streaming services will say, we have done enough advocacy, we have given a disclaimer, we have given age-related classification on the left bottom-up screen, on the left front-up screen of the of the content we are showing. So then our responsibility gets over. But the second tier is, there is a system which has emerged where people who are very much part of the content creation industry have now to sit with a former judge of a court, whether it's the High Court or the Supreme Court, and they have to then get together and decide if there is too much complaint about something. For example, we are as a democracy extremely sensitive. There are caste rights, there are religious communities which feel hurt, there are minorities whose rights are important, there are animal rights, there are women rights, there are child rights. We cannot turn away and we cannot just say that, bahar mein jao, you may get hurt, I'm going to create the story I want to create. As filmmakers, as content creators, we have a social responsibility towards what we are putting up.
Exactly, that was my question. What is about the social responsibility?
So the responsibility is that when you're putting out a story, you should know the impact value, the response time it will create from somebody who's consuming it. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि I as a filmmaker I'm living in a bubble and I think मैं तो कुछ भी करूँगा या करूँगी और लोग जो देखेंगे देखते रहें. It's not that simple. Now, within the pandemic realities of watching content together and films not being able to release in the theater, of course, there is more and more responsibility, which also is a shared space between families and also people who are creating it. But again, the OTT platform was suddenly seen as a great liberating experience for filmmakers. They could put out things. You've also seen audience reactions being very sharp and very evocative when it comes to certain kind of content. I think we are a kind of a country where we respond very quickly to things which offend us. So I would still say early days yet for this space. It's still a baby which is crawling and not still up on its feet. It's not walking as yet. Because the OTT space is a very new space. It's bursting at its seams with new experiences. Of course, there is so much more content being created.
But the baby is on steroids. I said the baby is on steroids. बहुत जल्दी बढ़ रहा है.
I hope the baby is not on steroids because that would be criminal to put a child on a steroid. But all I'm saying is we need deeper interventions between people who are consuming the content and those who are creating. If it's a social media platform, so be it. If it is a dense debate which needs to occur, so be it. As yet, CBFC is not a part of that space. I think both can coexist as long as the word responsibility is not forgotten.
Correct. Regarding this only, one very disturbing thing was coming these days is Squid Game. It's a huge hit, K-drama. K-drama वैसे जब तक romantic था, everybody was enjoying and it was going well and everybody liked it. Even watching with the family, it was good. They really follow certain rules and they were going well. But suddenly Squid Game आता है जो 2008 से ये जो concept है वो उसका director and the writer लेके घूम रहे थे and they were not getting anybody to produce it. और suddenly Netflix पे ये आ जाता है and it is #1 now. और मैंने तो मेरे बच्चों से सुना कि देखो देखो और मैंने भी देख लिया and I watched it in one go. रात में शुरू होकर सुबह खत्म हो गया था क्योंकि मुझे जानना था कि what is there in it, क्यों लोग इतने पागल हो गए, क्यों #1 all over the world. It's not only Asian countries, everybody is raving about it. एक तो मेरा एक ये भी थॉट था कि कोविड ने क्या हमको कोविड से हम इम्यून हुए ना हुए, हम डेथ को लेके जरूर इम्यून हो गए. तो व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन अबाउट सच कंटेंट, सच ड्रामा? क्या आपका क्या ओपिनियन है स्क्विड गेम को लेके?
Well, it's a very interesting question, Geeta. One of the things which very early on last year I did a research paper on digital narratives and non-linear storytelling that I co-authored with Shekhar Kapoor. Shekhar Kapoor, the famous filmmaker. And it was very much in public domain. A lot of people thought that we were saying that there should be no regulation on content, blah, blah, blah. All that I'm saying is that when COVID started all across the world, most filmmakers thought that dystopian dramas will not get attention. Squid Game, I really haven't seen all of it. I was avoiding to see it because when something becomes a rage, I have a tendency to stop, put a break on my instincts and first look at what is up. And this is exactly what we do at CBFC. So we cannot immediately jump to conclusions and start reacting immediately like everybody else. Otherwise, we will not be able to certify any films. Let me also put this on record. The creative content and how a story is being told is none of our business when we certify a film. We should be looking at, as I said, age-related classification. But then I watched a bit of it because the chaos and the shore, the noise around Squid Games became so shrill that I was also pushed by one of my industry colleagues who said, "Dekh to lo. अगर देखोगी तो समझ आएगा कि है क्या."
True.
Frankly, let me tell you, and again, this connects to the thought of we are who we are as a society, and we deserve the storytelling that we get. People are enjoying Squid Games. Some people are reacting extremely negatively, which should tell you that we have not just started to normalize death or killing, we've also started to somewhere enjoy it. And
Exactly
I think it's a
my
very
point.
disturbing and a very dangerous trend
Right.
because this almost reeks of nihilism. How you become nihilistic in life. We had heard of many isms, psychologically speaking. Both of you work on mental health, whether it was sadism, whether it was, the abuser celebratory syndrome. I get abused. I'm a domestic violence victim. I wrote a post past few days. It went viral. A lot of people got little upset with me that I said that women keep Karwa Chauth fast for the very men who destroy them mentally, physically, and emotionally. And this is what is it surviving the abuser syndrome or is it something larger? I actually wrote it because I couldn't contain myself.
Only you can write
Every
it.
time
Vani,
it's the same.
I must say, pause it. Only you can do it. Because Vani is also known for जो दिल में आया वो बोलना है and एक bold बंदी है यार, कुछ भी बोल सकते हो आप. And
See,
you
Geeta,
make a point.
I always wonder that domestic violence victims, women who are abused, rape survivors, keep this fast for the very men. I'm not saying the man, one man, the whole conglomerate of men as a race. They're abusing you and you're dying to fast for them all day just so that they have longevity of life. I mean, it baffles me. Anyway, coming back to what I'm saying, this is a very disturbing but a very dystopic trend that we are now moving into as a social reality. I hope that more and more series like Squid Games, however, I'm told, and people say it's very well produced, it's very well enacted, great cinematography. But I will go above that narrative and I would say, what is it propagating? Kill or get killed? Dog eats dog, right? So within the very commerce of creating stories like this, I think we will have to be very crafty and careful to look at this nihilistic approach of looking at life around us. Yes, death became a dense reality in the past more than a year of our lives. We lost so many people. We lost our friends, we lost our relatives, we lost families, we lost young people who probably had a whole life ahead of them. But if stories like Squid Games will become insignia of our times, I should be hanging my head in shame.
Very true, yeah. And that was again, I was also thinking कि death has become a game. Death is becoming so normal. लोग बातें करते हैं आजकल तो भी देखते हैं कि अरे यार फर्स्ट गेम में ये इतने लोग मरते, दूसरे में इतने मरते, दूसरे तीसरे लेवल में इतने लोग मरते हैं. इट्स लाइक कितना हम इजीली इसको एक्सेप्ट करें. अदरवाइज एक मूवी में अगर एक कोई बंदा मरता है तो हमको वो वी कैरी दैट थॉट टिल द एंड कि अरे ऐसा हुआ था, अब्यूज हुआ था तो ऐसा हुआ था. बट दिस टाइम we I think one should be thinking about the responsibility. I hope Indian drama doesn't follow all these things because we are fond of following certain things which are hit in other countries, so I'm just hoping.
Through you, one message which should go out, and for young people, Asha, your question, and also Geeta, why are we not retelling our own epics to our children? Why are we not telling, there's a glorious tradition of folklore, of storytelling, of our epics, of the great Vedas and the Upanishads, and not make it boring like a pravachan. Why are we not creating stories where we are retelling maybe the story of Ghatotkacha for that matter, or whether it is the gorgeous tale of not just the Mahabharata, but each character as in Arjuna or Karna, or even the whole concept of what Draupadi would have gone through when her Chiraran was happening. Isn't it the same as a woman getting eve-teased and getting molested, on the very streets of the very cities that we live in? So I think for me, as a producer today, I want to look at books, classics, literature from our own homeland in various Indian languages. I am not going to stop and criticize other people for not making it, because even if I won't make it, nobody will make it. So one of the things that I will reach out to is, Maybe we have become nuclear as families. Let us not stop telling stories to our children. Let us keep that tradition of great Katha Vachan and storytelling alive. It's also a great mental health initiative. When you share stories, you share sorrow, you share happiness, you share grief, and you share great moments of joy together. Imagine every story doesn't just start in India with once upon a time. It also starts with मेरी नानी कहा करती थी.
Correct.
मेरी दादी
wow.
कहा करती थी.
Correct.
Very
Why
good.
have we stopped doing this? I mean, isn't it important for us to go back to the tradition of this lovely Katha Vachan, where our elders used to sit, maybe in winters around the fireplace, all the little bachas of the family will sit with this lovely Dadi Nani, and she would say, अच्छा बच्चों, आज हम कौन सी कहानी सुनेंगे? आज हम कर्ण की कहानी सुनेंगे. Why have we stopped doing that with our kids? Everything is contained in these devices. It's a shame. We have stopped reading books. It's a shame. We were also one of the largest literature producing nations of the world. कहानियां तो हम बनाते ही रहेंगे, पर कहानियां सिर्फ सिनेमा, OTT, वेब सीरीज और थिएटर नहीं है. कहानियां हमारे अंदर हैं, वो जीवित हैं. It's time to retell the epics, and I want to reach out to your audience today. Please start doing that again. Don't abandon that great craft of storytelling, which was such an intrinsic part of our families.
वानी जी, जो आप अभी बोल रहे हो, that is even a very important aspect of healing, कि जो ancestral healing जिसको हम कहते हैं, कि जब जो हमारे में एक वो हॉरोस्कोप होता है ना, पितृदोष कहा जाता है जिसको, या it's come down through the ancestral line. क्या हो जाता है? The human mind is so programmed to only see the negatives that comes from everywhere. But there are so many positives that come from our ancestral lineage as well. जैसे आपने अभी कहा कि वो कहानियां आज याद रहती हैं, वो उस कहानी के थ्रू जो कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट्स पास डाउन होते हैं, जो आपके हेरिटेज की बात होती है. There is a reason we say, if I were just to take this mental health to one notch higher, कि being born in a body, there is a soul. आपने कहा जैसे गीता या फिर कर्ण की स्टोरी, अर्जुन की स्टोरी, also कृष्ण की स्टोरी है कि the soul has come into the body for a reason. We have chosen this country for a reason. हम इसके हेरिटेज से जुड़े हैं for a reason, पर हम सारी चीजें भूलकर we are actually going towards, there is no harm in modernism, there is no harm in anything. Everything has its pros and cons. This phone is very very useful for us, but कहाँ तक उसको हमें रेगुलेट करना है अपने आप को, वो बहुत ज्यादा.
Draw the line. We should also be drawing the line, because screen time became a new normal, in COVID times. सारे दिन, imagine एक कमरे में, it's a hilarious picture a friend of mine sent me. The whole family sitting together. लेफ्ट में बच्चे के हाथ में फोन है, फिर उसके पापा के हाथ में फोन है, फिर माँ के हाथ में फोन है, फिर माँ की बहन के हाथ में फोन है. They are all sitting in the same room and probably also messaging each other, but there is no conversation.
True.
Let's bring the conversations back of our lives back as a new normal. Let's start talking to each other. And talking to each other also means, if you're sad, you will say it. If you will say it, then there will be some discussion around it. There will be a resolution to that problem or problem solving. But हमने तो बात ही करनी छोड़ दी. We are so constantly on our Facebooks, on our and I say this to even my creative friends. Social media is a fake universe. You don't want to become a plastic star in that sky.
True.
हमारी टैगलाइन है, बाय द वे मानी, मेरा मन की टैगलाइन है, वी केयर लेट्स टॉक. Nowadays what is most important is communication. चाहे गुस्सा आए, अंदर मत रखो, बात करो यार. और प्रिज्यूम करते हैं हम ज्यादातर कि वाणी ने मुझे मैसेज नहीं किया, लगता है वो मेरे से नाराज है. क्यों बोल रहे हो यार? डायरेक्ट पूछो क्या हुआ वाणी, 1 महीने से तेरा कोई मैसेज नहीं आया. It would be better. You will at least think, अरे हाँ गीता को मेरी याद आ रही है, rather than just me thinking लगता है वाणी मुझे भूल गई, मुंबई छोड़ दिया तो दिल भी तोड़ दिया और दिल्ली चले गए.
So
that was a surrogate complaint. Point taken, my friend.
Yes.
I can only say in this 3 people that I can only say we care, let's talk, so we can all talk, right? And we are coming more. I'm sorry to end this, because this is amazing the information that is coming through and how we can reach out to people. एक थोड़ी सी मतलब जानकार हो जाए हम कि we are responsible for this life before we know it. आजकल तो क्या हो रहा है, life is so unpredictable. पहले भी थी, but आजकल तो कुछ ज्यादा ही है. तो अगर हम एक दूसरे से बात कर ले घर में ही, वो भी बहुत बड़ी अचीवमेंट हो जाएगी, मुझे ऐसे लगता है कभी कभी. एंड इफ वी टॉक, वी नो व्हाट आवर चिल्ड्रन आर डूइंग, वी नो व्हाट आवर पेरेंट्स नीड. एंड दैट जनरेशन जो जैसे हम लोग अभी बीच में हैं, बिटवीन द एल्डरली एंड द यंगस्टर्स, एक और है उसके बाद, बट स्टिल वी आर इन बेटर पोजिशन टू रेगुलेट एंड होल्ड देम टुगेदर. अगर हम, मुझे ऐसा लगता है जैसे आपने बोला ना वानी, कि मुझे अपनी नानी की कहानियां याद है, बट अगर हमारे बच्चों को याद नहीं रहेगी, हम पास ऑन नहीं करेंगे, तो कैसे होगा ये. And therefore, I think that internal regulation खुद ही आ जाता है. This is not for me. This doesn't match with my psyche. तो मैं क्यों देख रही हूँ या क्यों देख रहा हूँ? It will automatically start working in the right direction. So yeah, and I would like to continue this, but I would also now like to say thank you so much that you spared this time for us. You came here, shared your views, which are fantastic, that get us thinking. I hope more and more people listen to this and they become more aware what is available to them, what they are actually seeing, and how is it that their mental health is being affected. What are they choosing for themselves mentally? Peace, calm, and freedom and joy, or they would like to stay in the horrors. That is a choice that they will make at the end of it.
Just one golden word. In fact, I also did a course, I'm letting it out in public domain, called mindfulness. Just be mindful. Regulation again looks like a danda term. All I'm saying is be aware and be mindful of what is happening around you, which includes your children and young people in your families, You can't just let them be. 2 din darwaza nahi khola, so it's the new normal. Why is it the new normal? Why have you stopped communicating? Why are you so unmindful of the fact that there's a young person behind a closed door, not seen for 24 hours? There may be something wrong. So the difference between regulation and mindfulness or awareness, and also the difference between intrusion and finding empowerment. I don't want to intrude. Badi jaldi hum kehte na, अरे मैं intrusive नहीं होना चाहती. But being communicative is not being intrusive. I mean, these are some of the things that I think we also need to explain to young people around us. अगर तुम 2 मिनट को बता दोगे, मन नहीं कर रहा तो भी बता दोगे, कम्युनिकेशन पैदा होगा. मैं नहीं कह रही, आई एम नॉट टेकिंग अ पोजीशन, फलानी चीज मत पढ़ो, फलाना मत देखो. बट इफ दे आर अराउंड यू एंड यू आर वॉचिंग समथिंग which probably has connotation of disturbance, which may create psychological disturbance, it is upon us to become aware of the impact of that thing. Let us not just look at bodies and governments and organizations and foundations constantly to be doing the job that you and I should be doing, which is not a job. It is just the creation of that space where you become mindful and you become aware of, what is happening around you. That's it. And thank you so much. Mera Man Foundation.
Thank you. Thank you for your...
to you all.
Thank you. Thank you for your support and your time once again. And we look forward...
Always there. Thank you, Geeta. You were
my pleasure
in getting me on board today. I'm really sorry. I should have done this many moons ago. But blanket approval, anytime you want me back on the platform, I'm always with you. More power to you both.
Thank you so much.
Fellow women and friends of mine, just, thumbs up to whatever you guys are doing.
Thank you. We look forward to inviting you soon. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you, and happy Diwali to both of you.
Wish you the same. Wish you a very happy Diwali. Thank you.
Happy Diwali.
Bye.
Bye.